Alright, welcome to module 1 of Digital Product Creation Mastery, and in this class we're going to look at identifying profitable product ideas, conducting market research, assessing market demand and competition, and as well as validating your idea with your customers. Right, very important. How do you identify profitable ideas when it comes to creating digital products, whatever kind of digital product that you intend to create? The very first step that you need to take in creating digital product is to make sure that you identify that the product you're trying to create is a profitable idea. And what is a profitable idea? A profitable digital product idea is that is able to make you money. All right, one that is sellable. You have to find a concept that is not only just an interest to people, but also something that people are willing to pay for. All right. And for you to know if people are going to pay for the product that you're trying to create, the digital product you're trying to create, it has to be something that you're passionate about, and then you have an expertise around that subject matter. All right. It has to also be around the topic or subject line of something that solves the real problem that people have. All right. It has to be something that is solving problem that people have. And then thirdly, you need to also stay updated with industry trends and emerging markets. All right, you need to use tools like Google Trends, industry reports, and even the regular social media that everybody uses to spot trending topics and niches that people are having problem around, and then you can create a problem. You can create a product that provides solution to those problems. And then that's not enough. All right, when you know that you're passionate about a subject matter and you have an expertise around there, and then people are having certain problems around this subject matter, and then the product you're trying to create will have a solution to those problems. That means that people are going to be willing to pay for it. But lastly, you have to make sure if there is not already a solution out there. All right, it is very difficult for you to come up with an idea that has never existed, that nobody has done anything about before. All right, about 90% of the ideas you can come up with when it comes to creating digital products are things that people probably have created product or solutions around previously. So you need to now carry out what we call competitive analysis. And what is competitive analysis? It's about you looking at other successful digital products around the same topic or subject matter or niche that you're trying to create a product around, and then you need to analyze their strengths and weaknesses, all right, and be able to identify gaps and opportunities or areas of improvement from the other effort that has been made around the same topic or product line before. And then these gaps, especially the weaknesses of those existing solutions, it is where you're going to now center your own digital product around. That way, you have what we call competitive advantage, all right? So very important. This is how you identify if the product idea you have is going to be something that will be profitable for you. And when we say profitable, it has to be it means that it has to be something that is sellable, all right? Something that people are going to be willing to pay for. I said you have to be passionate about it. You have to be something that you have an expertise on. And then it has to be something that solves problems for people. And you also need to look at the emerging trends and see if what you're thinking about, the problem you're thinking about, it's something that is current. It's a current problem that people are having. All right. You don't want to create solutions to problems that people used to have but no longer have. That's you looking at market trends. And then you need to also create the solution or product around in a way that is not exactly already existing. If I'm correct, put it that way, it's not something that you don't want to create a replica of what is already out there. Okay, you don't want to offer people the same solutions that they've already tried before. So that's why you need to look at other successful products that are similar to what you're trying to create, and then make sure that the solution you're coming up with, it's something that offers higher value than what is already existing in the market. Right? That's by you being able to access the strengths and weaknesses of the existing solutions or products that are similar to yours already in the market, and being able to fit your own solution or product within the confines of the weaknesses of the already existing solutions. Now, I must say this, even while creating your own product, you can as well go over what is already existing in the market, but there should be that differentiating factor in your own product, in the sense that there should be something in your own product that is not already existing out there, right? So you need to leverage the weaknesses of existing solutions or product to create your own in order to give yourself a competitive advantage. All right, and that brings us to the next section of this class, which is conducting market research, because there's no other way you're going to be able to carry out a very effective competitive analysis if you don't know how to conduct market research. Now, conducting market research, there are so many ways you can go about it, either by going by way of surveys and questionnaires, online forums, communities, keyword research, and competitor analysis. Now, surveys and questionnaires, you can create surveys to gather feedback from your target audience. You can also go about asking some very important questions about their needs and preferences, and if actually they will be willing to pay for the certain product they are thinking about creating. Alright, you can also go on forums and community platforms and engage with online communities and forums and social media groups that are related to the niche or a particular industry niche or subject matter that you're trying to address in your own online product or digital product, and observe the discussions and then take note of the common questions and concerns that people have. This will give you an idea of existing predominant problem that people in your niche are having. All right, again, you can also leverage keyword research by using keyword tools like Google Keyword Planner, Ahrefs, SEMrush to identify popular search terms that relate to your topic or relate to the ideas that you have. And then when you have high search volumes of these subject matters, of these keywords rather, this would indicate that there are a lot of people who are interested in that keyword, and then creating a product around that stands a better chance of being a successful one out there. All right, so when you've done this, it is important that you do competitor analysis. That is, you analyzing your competitors' products, their pricing models, their customer reviews, and then their marketing strategies. And these can provide insights into what works and what doesn't work in your niche. All right, so that when you're coming up with your own strategy, your own content, you're going to have something that is a little bit unique or a lot more unique than what's already existing out there, which gives you a very robust advantage. And that brings us to the next subject that we're going to be talking about, which is accessing market demands and competition. Now, to ensure that your idea has enough demand and can stand out in a competitive market, there are very important steps that you need to take. Right? The first one is you have to be able to evaluate demands. Right? Look for indicators indicators of strong demands, such as high search volume, like I talked about in the previous session, active online communities, and frequent mentions on social media. So when a subject matter or an idea that you have are things that people are searching for, constantly searching for online, you can do this, find out about this by using keyword search and keyword planner. Google Keyword Planner will give you an idea of how much people are looking up that subject matter or that keyword on the internet. All right, you need to also see if there is an active community of people who are constantly discussing subject matters around the idea that you have, and that will give you an insight that, okay, the topic or the idea that you have in mind is something that is in demand. All right, then next you analyze your competition. All right, you should be able to assess the level of competition in your niche. A competitive market indicates high demand. If there are no other people doing what you're thinking about, you need to be careful about going into it. All right, so you should be able to have every single viable topic, every single viable subject matter, every single viable idea would usually have a competitor. All right, there should already be somebody who has thought about something that you're thinking about. All right, it can be so novel. All right, but it doesn't mean that you cannot be so. There's nothing can be completely original. But most of the time, whatever you're thinking about is something that people have already thought about before, and sometimes people have already created a product around that subject matter, that idea or topic they're thinking about. So it is important for you to also pay attention to the existing competition and then you from that end, you now have to develop what we call your unique selling propositions, which will now be your differentiating factor, all right, in your product. If you listen to the previous session of this class, I talked about you finding the strengths and weaknesses of existing products in the market. Your differentiating factor, your differentiating factor or your unique selling proposition are almost always going to come from the weaknesses of the existing product and solutions in the market. All right, you're going to be able to leverage those weaknesses of existing solutions in the market, and then use these to enhance the perceived value of your own product. And that's about you being able to identify gaps. That's the next point. You've been able to identify gaps. That's, you look for gaps in the market that your product can fill. This could be a lack of comprehensive resources out there, outdated information, or underserved segments of the audience. All right, there are so many gaps that you can identify, so many loopholes you can identify in your niche. And once you're able to do this, then you must have carried out a successful market analysis and understood your competitor enough for you to actually step in and dominate the market. All right. Now, when you've done this preliminary research that we talked about, it now comes down to you being able to validate your idea with real customers. All right. This is the practical side of validating your idea. All right. Validating your idea is the practical part of all the other processes or steps that you've taken previously. Market research, coming up with your ideas and things like that. Before you invest time and resources into creating that product, you need to be sure that your idea is valid with real customers. And how do you do this? First, you might think about pre-selling your products. All right, that's something we call minimum viable product (MVP). All right, you might also think about crowdfunding or even deploying beta testing strategies. I'm going to talk about this in a bit. First, pre-selling your product. You can start by creating a landing page describing your product and their benefits, and then use this to collect pre-orders or sign-ups to gauge interest. If people are willing to pay for the product that you've created, if people are willing to pay for the product that you described on your landing page, or at least are willing to sign up to learn more about it, this would be a strong indication that the demand, or there is a valid demand, or that your product idea is valid with real customers. All right. So if somebody comes to your landing page where you created, where you've described this product that you have, talked about the product, talked about the problems, talked about the solutions, talked about everything about it, and people are interested in actually going ahead to either place an order, a pre-order, telling you, okay, I know that this is not out there in the market yet, but when you're done creating it, I'm placing an order because I want a copy of it. If people are ready to pre-order your product, or at least people are ready to sign up to your waiting list until when the product is done, that is a good validation that real customers out there are really going to patronize your business. All right, they're really going to patronize your product when it's eventually out. Now, taking this pre-selling step is a very strong indication that you have a valid product idea to now begin to invest your time, your attention, and your resources into creating them. Now, the second point is what we call the minimum viable product. What is this? You need to develop a simplified version of your product to test with a small group of users. All right, you need to gather feedback to refine your idea and ensure it meets customer needs. All right, and then the next point is crowdfunding. All right, platforms like Kickstarter and Indiegogo allow you to present your idea to a large audience and collect funds upfront. All right, successful crowdfunding campaigns can validate your product idea and then provide initial capital for your development. Another way you can validate your product idea with real customers is beta testing. All right, you can offer a beta version of your product to a select group of users, collect feedback and testimonials to improve the product and build credibility before the official launch. By following these steps that we talked about, pre-selling, minimum viable product approach, crowdfunding approach, and beta testing, you can ensure that your digital product idea is both profitable and in demand. Proper validation reduces the risk of failure and sets the foundation for a successful product launch. Right? It is very, very important that you follow this process to validate your product idea before you start investing time and resources into creating them. And that's what we cut the curtain for this class. And in the next one, we're going to talk about planning your digital product creation process. See you in the next class.